Alright guys, this is meant to be a general overview of British weapons in Battlefield 1. I won't be going into too many details because there are many videos on the subject on YouTube and they can be very technical, as this isn't a simple topic, but I'm hoping to make this accessible. And if you just want a typical British loadout, you want something that you would by and large have seen in the trenches, then the two main weapons are both Scout. You want the SMLE Mark III short magazine Lee Enfield and the Webley Mark VI revolver. Now both of these are descended from Victorian weapons that were carried through to the Cold War. They were very successful. The short magazine Lee Enfield has two key advantages over contemporary weapons of the time. It has a 10-shot internal magazine, as opposed to other weapons like the German Gewehr 98, the Russian Mosin Nagant, which carried 5. Most of the weapons of the time were 5, some were even 3. And it also has a faster rate of fire because it uses a cock-on-close action, which is when you cycle the next round into the chamber, the action that actually cocks the weapon, prepares it for firing, is on the close rather than open, which is what takes much of the weight, so it's easier to use in that sense. The Webley Mark VI pistol is a 6-shot revolver. Many of the weapons at the time were single loading or swing open, so the cylinder would swing out and you'd have to eject the rounds manually. This was a break action revolver. To reload, you break the barrel open and the shells would automatically fly out. And you could even get a fast loading device which would carry the 6 and you'd just push them into place rather than loading one by one. In terms of accuracy, this is the most common British pistol of the war. There were foreign weapons used like the 1911 and there were older weapons and others designed for the war or just before it, such as the Webley automatic pistol. Now, I would have loved to have seen the Webley auto pistol in Battlefield 1, but it would have performed similar to other weapons in the game, and it was less seen in the trenches, it was more for other services, and it wasn't a better pistol than the Webley, but it was definitely easier to use. It's often overlooked how hard to use pistols are. That's why semi-automatics caught on there. Revolvers are more reliable and often more accurate, but they're harder to train people to use. And there were other pistols, such as the Mars, you may be familiar with. That's definitely my weapon of choice for the Scout, but it was actually rejected by the War Office for its recoil, which I can understand. I would not want to fire that. It's not very ergonomic and it's very hard hitting. Onto the Scout class, the main weapon would be the Lewis light machine gun. You certainly wouldn't be running and gunning with it like you do in this game, but in terms of it being there, that is the light machine gun that you would have seen most often, and there were different variants. The suppressive version in the game has a larger magazine. Definitely you'll see these on aircraft where reloading is not as easy as it was on the ground. There's also the Bulldog revolver, which was from Victorian times, less common than the Webley but still used. And onto the medic class, as you can see here, you've got the auto revolver, the Webley Fosbury. Always my weapon of choice for the medic class. It combines the hard-hitting accuracy of a revolver with the fast firing of a semi-automatic, and that is what it was there for. It's a complicated mechanism, but it worked quite well. And you've also got experimental self-loading rifles. The War Office was never very keen on them even to World War II. They put out a set of requirements even most modern weapons would fail, but they did trial the Howell automatic conversion, which, like the US Peterson device, takes an existing SMLE and converts it to semi-auto. And they also tested the Farquhar Hill, which is a very popular medic weapon. I definitely recommend it, but it didn't see extensive service because it came too late in the war. And that was just a general overview. There were plenty more. Like I say, there were foreign weapons like the 1911. There would have been captured weapons, particularly pistols, both World Wars, the Luger was a treasured prize, but those are the most realistic weapons that you'll see in Battlefield 1.